afternoon, Expedia. Welcome to restorative yoga. Just gonna relax, wind down, get some really good sleep, clear the mind. We're gonna start on our 2 feet. So feet hip width apart. You wanna just get 2 heels and toes on the mat. We're just gonna find our breath. We've been sitting all day, so we're just gonna find some length in the body, use that stability, take our hands all the way up high, and just find some reach from the toes, from the hips, from the shoulders, to the crown of your head, to the fingers. Just wanna get some extension going of the body, and then we're gonna take our hands down by our side, and just gonna take that head and just kind of move it around to the right side, so chin to chest, and then head to the right shoulder, all the way back to the left shoulder, and then chin to chest, and then you'll just rotate, so moving that head to the left side, and just trying to find some movement along with our breath. Resetting the head back to center, just gonna take those shoulders forward, and then take those shoulders backwards. And just move the torso to the left side, move the torso to the right side. Just trying to get some easy movement before we sink all the way down to the mat to find ourselves in a nice, comfortable seat. 2 sit bones on the mat. Cross those legs, or maybe you want to have the heels to touch, or maybe you want to take those legs out wide. Just want to try to find some balance with the breath. Take those hands on the knees and just want to elongate the torso from the hips through the shoulders, gaze forward, or maybe you want to make those eyes closed. Just gonna take that right hand to the mat and just find some length on the left side. So nice opening of the torso to the left side. And then reverse left hand to the mat. Nice opening of the torso on the right side. And then a nice gentle twist of the torso. So right hand to the back of you, left hand on the right knee, gaze behind you. Real strong, elongated torso, remembering to breathe, and then we'll reverse, so right hand to the left knee, gaze behind you. Nice, strong torso. And then release, hands at your knees, and then you're just gonna take those hands and move forward. So just like a cat, just want to find some length on the back side. So just step with the hands, just trying to find some length. And then reversing that, you're gonna take those hands behind you. Nice elongation of the torso. Gaze to the top of the ceiling. Remembering to breathe. And then release, hands on your knees, and then we'll meet on our hands and our knees, so shoulders over wrists, and then hips over knees. And just want to find some movement, left or right, forward and backwards, moving forward, moving backwards. Nice, easy movement, just trying to find our breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Maybe you want to get into a cat-cow. Taking that breath. Nice movement. Head and shoulders to the sky. And dipping the head and shoulders, lifting the torso high. Just trying to find some easy movement. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. One more breath. And then release back to center. And then we're gonna open our knees, heels to touch, Getting into our child's pose, just going to take the head and the torso high before we lower all the way down to the mat, taking those hands out long, head to the mat, or maybe you want to take the hands by your side. Just try to find some breath here. Just want to clear your head. It's been a long day. Release the thoughts. And just focus on the breath. And take a good 15 to 20 breaths here in child's pose. It's a really great pose to get reset. Inhale through the nose and release. Inhale through the nose and release. Still in child's pose. Inhale through the nose and release. Inhale through the nose and release. Just let it go. Let the mind wander. And you want to find some movement in the fingers and the head, and just move that upper torso and hands to the right side. So nice opening on the left side, knees still planted on the mat. Find a couple breaths here. Inhale through the nose and release. Inhale through the nose and release. And then release back to center. And then you're just going to find some opening on that right side. So taking the head and the torso to the right side. Nice little opening there. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale through the nose and release. Inhale through the nose and release. And then release back to center. We're going to move forward on our hands and knees. We're going to flip the toes, pushing into the palms of the hands, finding ourselves in downward facing dog. We're going to take that right leg high. We're going to bend the knee and right leg all the way to the top of the mat to find some length in the hips and the groin, pushing those head and the torso high before we lower all the way down to find our pigeon pose. Nice soft opening on the left side. Just want to find a good 4 to 5 breaths here. Through the nose and release. In the nose and then release. Couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to take our hands, pushing the head and the torso high. We're going to flip that left toe, three-legged dog. Right leg to meet the left leg, downward facing dog. And then we're going to reverse. We're going to take that left leg high. You're going to bend that left knee all the way forward to the top of the mat, finding some length and opening on the right side. Torso and head tall, gaze forward. Before we lower all the way down to the mat, we'll find ourselves in pigeon pose. Now take a good 4 to 5 breaths here. Inhale through the nose and then release through the mouth. Couple more breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to take our hands and pushing the head and the torso high. We're going to flip that right toe, three-legged dog. Left leg high, left leg to the mat. And then we're going to widen our stance, taking the knees down to the mat. And then we're going to stretch out long. And just find that left ear to the mat, hands by your side. Finding a couple breaths here on your belly. Inhale through the nose and release. Inhale through the nose and release. One more breath. And then release back to center, just taking that head high. You're going to take those hands, align with your shoulder, low cobra. So a nice gentle push of the head and the shoulders before we lower down to the mat. Right ear on the mat, hands by your side. Take a good 3 to 4 breaths here. Inhale through the nose and release. Inhale through the nose and release. Couple more breaths. Then you're going to lift the head, taking the hands by your, in line with your shoulders. One more time, low cobra. Gently pushing into our palms, lifting the torso and the head high, ever so gently before you release it all the way down to the mat. And then we'll just kind of roll over on our backs here. So head and the shoulders and the hips. Feet all on the mat. Just want to take some breaths here before you find some length. Head, hands over the head. You're going to find some reach from the fingers all the way through the hips, through the toes. And then you'll take those knees to chest. And just kind of roll around gently on the left side, on the right side. Before you settle down, everything to the mat, surrender your thoughts, focusing on your breath, Savasana. So let's take a good 15 to 20 breaths here on your back. Closing the eyes, hands by your side, Savasana. Focus on the breath. Just try to release your thoughts, closing the eyes, taking that air through the nose, all the way down to the pit of your belly, and then releasing that oxygen through the mouth. Couple more breaths. ready, just nice, gentle movement of the toes, the fingers, the head. Maybe you want to pull the knees into your chest. Maybe you want to roll around on your left or right side. We'll meet in a nice, comfortable seat. Just taking our time, finding our way, finding our breath. Just getting recentered, letting it all go. Finding ourselves in a comfortable seat, 2 sit bones on the mat, strong torso. Opening the shoulders, gaze forward. Couple more breaths through the nose, hold, and then release. One more. Deep inhale through the nose, hold, and then release the breath. Taking those hands to heart center, thanking yourselves for taking time for you to release your day and find your breath, find your way. Namaste.